All right, it's Tuesday, late Tuesday. We've had some Christmas festivities going on, so I'm just getting to this kind of late at night here. But I am not going to forget about the Tuesday tier rankings for this week. Every quarterback from this week in the NFL, and as always, we are only judging by their week 14 performance, and they're going into one of these 5 tiers. Great, good, fine, poor, or trash. A lot of guys on a bye this week, and a lot of guys playing really well in the NFL this week. So let's get in, going by division in the NFC North with Caleb. As we say down south, bless his heart. Bless Caleb Williams' heart. He is in a miserable situation in Chicago, and I hope that they can get the right coach this offseason to help this guy. I got a lot of grace for Caleb Williams. They looked horrible Sunday. They got smoked. I'm still going to say Caleb was fine because I just don't – I'm not like a Chicago enthusiast. I'm not a Bears enthusiast. But I just feel like Caleb is not the problem in Chicago right now. Like, if you're looking at reasons for the Bears' miserable season, there's so many other people to blame more than rookie quarterback who is in an awful, awful situation. Jordan Love on Thursday night in a very entertaining game against the Lions. I thought Jordan Love was great. I think Jordan Love is playing a lot better as we get closer to the end of the season, closer to the playoffs where the Green Bay Packers will certainly be. And I know they lost, but there were some throws that Jordan Love made in this game that were freakish. There were some throws he made in this game that were like otherworldly. Some of the best throws you will see. Some of the best plays you'll see. They lost, but the Packers can cause problems in the playoffs if he's playing like that. Sam Darnold. Holy cow. Great. Sam Darnold. Just great against the Atlanta Falcons. I've even seen some say that Sam Darnold belongs in the MVP conversation. Sam Darnold. What a remarkable story he's been this season, and he was maybe his best performance of the season this past Sunday against Atlanta. And then Jared Goff, I thought Jared Goff was great too. I told you there's a lot of great quarterback play in the NFL this week, and I thought that Jared Goff was one of them. I mean, obviously you lead the game-winning drive to win a clutch game over Green Bay in prime time on Thursday. Obviously Dan Campbell doing some Dan Campbell-esque things, taking some real chances, but Jared Goff just has been playing so well for them overall, and I thought he was great Thursday night. You're going to say I'm just being too nice to these guys this week, but Joe Burrow, once again, I thought Joe Burrow was great. I thought, I think Joe Burrow is proof that even if you have a great quarterback who is playing as well as anybody and better than most guys, it still doesn't matter if you don't have the team around him. The defense for Cincinnati has been bad. And they won against Dallas Monday night, but it hasn't been the season that Cincinnati hoped it would be. The defense is usually not good. Their run game is usually not good. And even though Joe Burrow has been sensational this season, it's just, most weeks they've just come up short because the other team's scoring more. Even though the Bengals score a lot, the other teams score more, usually. Russell Wilson with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought that Russell was good. I think he's been good. I really think everybody owes Russell Wilson an apology because when he got brought in, everybody was like, oh, he's cringe. He's washed. Russell Wilson is making some people eat their words. He's just played really good football since he came in for Pittsburgh. And I was even one of the people that questioned going away from Justin Fields to go to Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin has proven us all wrong because it was the right thing to do. Jameis Winston. I mean, I literally made Jameis his own tier last week because he's in a tier all by himself. And you know what? Dang it. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to add a tier down here and just call it Jameis. He gets his own tier. So, because he does good things, he makes good throws, but then he loses you the game at the end because he throws a ridiculous interception. You know, most of the time a pick six. He is just in his own world in more ways than one. Jameis is just Jameis. Cooper Rush in a losing effort on Monday night. I'll say what I've said about Cooper really since he came in. I thought Cooper was fine. I mean, he's a backup quarterback coming into a bad situation on what is mostly a bad team. I think Cooper Rush has held his own. I think he's proven to be a good backup quarterback in this league, and I think he has probably gotten himself a job for years to come with somebody because I think he's done mostly well. He's kept the ship afloat for the most part since he got in there. Jalen Hurts, man, Philadelphia's won like 1 billion games in a row, and they've got locker room turmoil because our guy A.J. Brown is not happy with the passing game. Rumors of friction. I mean, I guess Jalen was fine. I think that AJ's probably mad because he knows when we get to the playoffs, if we're going to beat Detroit, if we're going to beat Green Bay, our passing game is going to have to be better than it is. It's good enough to squeak by Carolina and some of the teams we've been playing, but is it good enough to beat the heavyweights in January? I think that's probably where AJ's coming from. Jalen's fine. He's going to have to be better than fine to beat some of these teams. And I might even throw Minnesota's name in there. Come January, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, some would argue even a team like Washington that could cause trouble. Jalen's going to have to be better. I thought he was fine. Drew Lock, I mean, trash. Just what a situation for the Giants. I don't even know what to tell you. Josh Allen in a losing effort I thought was great. My dogs brought the squeak toy in here, so if you hear some squeaking, blame my buddy Roman over here. Josh Allen, great. I know they lost. It's not the end of the world for the Bills, but it's not particularly good because the Chiefs won, and now it really feels like the Chiefs are going to be the 1 seed in the AFC, and the Bills aren't going to be able to catch them. But the Bills lose. Josh Allen, still great. Aaron Rodgers, listen. The Jets are horrible. Aaron Rodgers probably needs to retire. But by 2024 Aaron Rodgers standards, I thought Aaron Rodgers was good on Sunday. I think this is like as good as Aaron Rodgers can be at this point. Had over 300 yards, threw some passes that looked like Aaron Rodgers. Probably needs to call it quits. He's talking about something to do with aliens or trying to do some type of talking to ghosts or something, whatever he's trying to do to make himself play better. I don't know. But I actually thought by 2024 Aaron Rodgers standards, he was good on Sunday in a losing effort. And they lost to the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa, and I thought Tua was great. I thought Tua was great, and I think Tua has really mostly been either really good or great since he returned from injury. I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. I think they're too far behind. But Tua has played really great since he came back, and that's reason to be encouraged for the Dolphins going forward. Tua is not a big part of the problem there in Miami. Cold weather is the problem in Miami. Let's move to the NFC West with Geno Smith, who once again delivers. I thought Geno was good. Geno, you know what? I mean, this guy just continues to come through for the Seattle Seahawks. And you know what? I'm going to move him up to great. I'm going to move Geno up to great. I mean, clutch game against Arizona, huge division game, and Seattle has that division in their grasp. I mean, they are leading the way, and it looks like it is their division to lose at this point. They're a huge surprise team for me this year, and Geno, who I really was not too excited about even as recent as a month ago, but this guy keeps delivering wins, keeps, every time they need a big play, he delivers. I thought I'll put him into great tier for this week. Matt Stafford. Man, this may be the most people we've ever had in the great tier, but I thought Stafford was great too. And I think Stafford, as I say every week, he has been great for much of this season. I think Matt Stafford very quietly has played at an incredibly high level all year, and the Rams still have a chance of making the playoffs. We'll see how things work out in these last 4 weeks, but Matthew Stafford playing some really good football. Kyler Murray. Not good enough for sure. I'll put him into the fine category. It's just, man, Arizona has really fallen apart, haven't they? I mean, they were rolling at one point, and now here they are. I think Kyler's fine, but for whatever reason, they can't get Marvin Harrison involved in their game plan. I don't understand. It's Marvin Harrison, one of the best wide receiver prospects we've seen come out of the draft, and Arizona can't figure out how to get him the ball. Kyler he's almost like the opposite of Geno, and I know Cardinals and Seahawks, big rivals, that might seem like fighting words. I don't have a dog in the fight, but Geno is clutch. Geno delivers when the team needs it, and Kyler, I just feel like, comes up short too often. That's not a joke about his height, but he comes up short too often. Brock Purdy, we're going back to the great tier. I thought Brock Purdy was great. I think, the 49ers dominated this game really from start to finish. I thought Brock Purdy, 49ers not totally dead yet, but I thought Brock Purdy was great in this game. I went with Desmond Ridder for the Raiders. He and Aiden O'Connell had the same amount of snaps, it seemed, or passes. I'm putting him in the trash. I mean, the Raiders and the Giants. I mean, look, you got Drew Lock and Desmond Ridder in the trash. These are two teams who are just waiting for the end of the season. I mean, these are two teams that are just biding their time until they can just get to the end and go get another quarterback. Justin Herbert. I thought Justin Herbert was good. I thought Justin Herbert had his team in a position to win, but it's the sky is blue, the grass is green, and the Chargers cannot beat the Chiefs. Even when it looks like they're going to, even when it looks like it's right in their grasp, even when the crossbar of the field goal tries to make it so, it just can't happen. But I thought Justin Herbert was good. Patrick Mahomes, I thought Mahomes was good too, but I said this last week. If I had to judge Patrick Mahomes just based on this season alone, with no knowledge of what he has done before this season, I would just think that Mahomes was pretty good. Like, he just has not... I look at some of these other quarterbacks. I think, even though the records don't reflect it, I think Joe Burrow has been better than Patrick Mahomes. I think Josh Allen has been better than Patrick Mahomes. I think that since Tua came back from injury, he's been on par with Patrick Mahomes. I think Matthew Stafford has been better than Patrick Mahomes this year. I think Jared Goff has probably been a little better than Patrick Mahomes. I think Jared Goff has a much better roster than Patrick Mahomes. But I think, Patrick Mahomes, he's clutch. He finds a way to win, and we'll see that in January, I'm sure. But I just thought Mahomes was good. Baker Mayfield. Thought Baker was great. I mean, Baker, now they were playing the Raiders, one of the worst teams I've ever seen, but I thought Baker was great. I thought he came through, played well, did what he needed to do against a bad team, and now the Bucs are back in the driver's seat in the NFC South. Got to give credit to Baker. Incredibly gritty, and the Bucs team kind of reflects that. Felt like they were really down and out as recent as even a few weeks ago, and now they've really recovered nicely. And they kind of have the Falcons to thank for that, for not being able to put it away when they had the chance. Derek Carr, who may be done for the year, I thought Carr was fine against a terrible Giants team. I mean, the Saints were the lesser of two evils. Between Derek Carr and Drew Lock, Derek Carr was the lesser of two evils. Like I said, Derek Carr got hurt. Wish him well. Not sure we'll see him again this year. Kirk Cousins with the Falcons. Kirk Cousins has a turnover problem. He's throwing way too many interceptions. He was better this week than he was last week. And I'm actually going to say Kirk was fine because the Falcons came back to tie this game, and then they had a special teams turnover that really put them behind the eight ball. Kirk Cousins not good enough to get $180 million, but I'll put him in the fine tier. Bryce Young. Let me tell you something, man. I thought Bryce was good. Bryce, I mean, there's a lot of reason to be encouraged for Carolina because Bryce Young's been playing well, hanging in there against teams like the Chiefs and the Eagles, some of the real heavyweights of the NFL. Bryce Young has held his own, and he's had his team. I mean, he marched him down there to tie the Chiefs before Mahomes got him in field goal range. And then this week, he's right there against the Eagles. And so close if Leggett can come down with that ball. Was it Leggett that they reviewed it, say he didn't catch it? Either way, Bryce, good. Mac Jones with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care if they won. I don't care. Poor. Mac Jones, just poor. That makes it even more embarrassing for the Titans. You don't have to let me know that in the comments. It makes it more embarrassing for the Titans that they lost because Mac Jones is terrible and did really nothing special at all, had two awful interceptions, and the Titans let him off the hook. The Titans got beat by a bad quarterback, and that's their burden to bear. And on that note, Will Levis, who had been playing much better against Jacksonville, certainly not one of his better performances, but he was okay. Had a bad miss, missed a wide open guy that would have been a touchdown that if the score we had would have held, the Titans would have won. But I thought Will was fine. I thought he was better than Mac Jones, even though Mac Jones' team won. I mean, I think it's just the Titans are such a bad team. I mean, the Titans are such a bad team, and there's so many issues with this team. What I can say about Will Levis is that early on, Will Levis was the issue for the Titans. Now, I don't even think he's in the top 5 issues for this team. There's so much wrong. But I actually thought Will Levis was fine. A couple passes I'm sure he wishes he could have had back, but I thought he was fine. These are the tiers for this week. In the great tier, a whole bunch of guys. Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Geno Smith, Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, and Baker Mayfield. In the good tier, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Bryce Young. In the fine tier, Caleb Williams, Cooper Rush, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Will Levis. In the poor category, Mac Jones. In the trash, Drew Lock and Desmond Ridder. And in the Jameis tier is Jameis. Gets his own tier for the second week in a row. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. This is how I saw it this week. Tighten up, bye.